Yeah, hi. My name is Brad VanHoose, and I'm from Belleville, Illinois. I'm a legal researcher. This message, I'm doing this video. It's a message to the Board of Trustees in the Village of Caseyville. On December 20th, 2023, your village attorney, he got in a public meeting. He told umpteen lies about a private lawsuit that is now going to be a village lawsuit, but he told lies about myself, former board members, current board members, lots of private citizens. So basically, in essence, what Mr. Stewart did, Doug Stewart, village attorney, did was he wanted to try a civil case in a public meeting. He and Tom Capitelli told a number of lies, things that were untrue. Let's start with first I have a question for G.W. Scott. This is what you provided as an exhibit right here. You see it, this invoice, and you read it, and in your lawsuit. Okay, that right there, sir, is an altered document. Now, did you provide it or not? Because this right here, this was provided to the Edgar County Watchdogs. It's got a redaction of your telephone number. Okay, but if you notice, it says that this is a reminder invoice at the bottom, but they are not the same. This is what you used for your court filing, and this is what was provided to someone else through FOIA. So maybe I've never spoken to you, I've never had a bad word with you, Mr. Scott, so maybe you can clear that up. For brevity, in 2023, September, I asked some questions about, I filed a FOIA request basically asking the village of Caseyville why they repaired a 96 F350, 450, whatever it was, with 223,000 miles. They put $3,000 into it for a transmission, and the trustees thought it was weird, and they didn't quite understand it. The invoice here, it doesn't have VIN number on it, doesn't have plate number on it, it doesn't have any way of identifying. Several other invoices from Marshall's Transmission does. It has a plate number or a VIN number or both. There's also, in that December meeting, Doug Stewart said that the only reason that I tied this invoice to you, Mr. Scott, was because your cell phone number was on it, which it is. I realize you're a foreman at the Village of Caseyville. There's your cell number. It's redacted in the one he gave to Mr. Kraft at Edgar County Watchdogs. But excuse me, you're a county board member. You're the foreman for the Village of Caseyville, and really the only reason I asked the question was it was more my question than anything else. Someone had told me about a truck, so I asked Mr. Kraft at Edgar County, who had access, who had possession of the databases for all the municipal vehicles for 22 and 23 in the state of Illinois, and Caseyville didn't have a 96 F Super Duty registered to them in 2022 when this took place. Now the question was raised in 2022, and I didn't know it. I wasn't involved in Caseyville. I wasn't involved in the elections. I'm from Belleville. I have a lot of friends in Caseyville, and one of my friends who had his home flooded out was having a whole lot of trouble with this village attorney and Tom Capitelli, the chief of police, and Brian Rader. And now that came down to, excuse me, here we go. That was a matter of, sorry, we're getting low on power, but we'll be fine. This man had basically told him several times that they needed to dredge that ditch out, or it's an ongoing problem, but if they keep it clean, it prevents flooding a lot better. But that doesn't seem to be a priority. But that's neither here nor there. But I filed the FOIA on the 20th of September. I got the documents about the 27th because there was a weekend in there, 5 days. And when I got the document, I realized right away this is an original invoice. It's a reminder invoice. So I'm like, what's going on, you guys? Okay, my cats. Anyway, it was a reminder invoice. Wasn't original. Didn't have a VIN number on it. Didn't have a plate number on it. It had G.W. Scott's Jr.'s signature on it, and it had his cell phone number. In the 2023 December 20th, 23 meeting, Chief Capitelli specifically says that and I've got the video if anybody wants to see it, says that 2 village employees dropped off and picked up the truck, and so I didn't just assume this who G.W. Scott was. I didn't take one thing His signature was on it, his cell number was on it, and it was missing some documentation that all the other invoices from Marshall's Transmission had. The allegation that came up was not about a village truck. It was about a truck that Mr. Scott had owned himself and had sold at the end of 2022. And I don't know if it to be true or not, but the one of the people, in Caseyville that was, asking about it, just basically said that he'd had it sold through a friend of his, a friend actually of one of his daughters. And I don't know which one. I do know the guy's name. No point in bringing it up here. So anyway, this message is to the Board of Trustees, okay? I've had nothing but problems with Doug Stewart, who has taken on the role of the Village Freedom of Information Officer at $180 an hour. The village clerk, Cindy Miller, I'm not sure what she does, really. I don't know her. I really don't have any axe to grind with her, but it seems like Doug Stewart's doing her job. If I'm wrong, Miss Miller, speak up. I'm happy to listen to what you have to say. But right now, he's dominating these FOIA requests, and he's making a killing at it by denying public information requests. And with me in particular, I guess he thinks it's funny. He's playing games. It's not a dance, Mr. Stewart. It's a serious thing. You filed a lawsuit against me, a frivolous lawsuit. And I wish I could just say, well, let's just drop it, but I can't. You've said damaging things about myself, former trustees, current trustees, all kinds of private citizens, and they're verifiable lies. And I'm kind of a hard-nosed guy, and I have a pretty good reputation, though. People know what to expect from me. I don't go around telling lies about people. If I say something, I've got the documents to back it up. And I generally leave my forays to public officials that are doing things that are wrong. And, I don't have a thing against Democrats or anything like that. But something happened to me in the village of Caseyville, and I met a fellow by the name of David Rands. And he did something that, he just did something really crappy to me. And then Judge Randall Kelly helped him. It ended up getting, the nonsense was, one of the witnesses against me was problematic, okay? How's that? And anyway, they got overturned. He found me guilty of misdemeanor, assault. And I appealed it to the 5th District, and I won 3-0, and that was that. But, it changed my life forever. But what I realized was, I don't really have a thing about hating one party or anything like that. I'm an equal opportunity guy. If it's a public official doing something wrong, and I see it, and I catch it, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna raise some awareness. That's all I can tell you. But this message is to the village. One of the things that this whole thing came about because Doug Stewart wanted to play games with FOIA requests. That's what started all this discourse. And I'm a guy that's not gonna back up or back down. So anyway, this message is to the village of Caseyville. The one thing I can't get from Doug Stewart are the legal invoices from October and November of 2023. And the reason I want them so adamantly, and I think he won't turn them over now. Initially, I wasn't sure, but the more he does this, the more I'm sure. I believe that the lawsuit filed by village attorney for village employee and county board member Doug G.W. Scott Jr., the mayor's son, was paid for in part or in full with village funds. Now, I want to see those legal invoices because there's all kinds of legal research on the bills that I could see that there's no explanation for. And the bills that he did turn over were so heavily redacted that there was no getting it. So that's why I want him so bad. So I'm telling Wally Abernathy, Ron Sandcleven, John Buckley, G.W. Scott Sr., Matt Madromsky, Kent Lubers, and Dan Carey that I want those documents. I don't even want them redacted at this point. I've had so much just garbage with this attorney, Doug Stewart. And Doug, by the way, if you've got some judgments or sanctions against your license in the state of Texas, let us know, would you? I'd kind of like to know if that's you, and because it kind of looks bad if there's some indiscretions. But if it's not you, just say so. Nobody's going to make accusations, but they're legitimate questions. And you always take a legitimate question and you turn it into an accusation, and that's not what's happening. When I ask a public official a question, I like an answer, a straight answer. Something Matt Madrowski, Dan Carey, and apparently Kent Lubers weren't able to get from Brian Rader, the village superintendent, or others, and especially Doug Stewart. And when you file a FOIA request and you get blowback for it, for something it's just turnover, there's something wrong. And a guy like me, I've been this so long, I want to keep pressing, and I'm going to keep pressing, I'm going to keep digging, and I'm going to keep asking questions, Mr. Stewart. If you don't like it, you can just go ahead and leave. You billed the village $177,000 in legal bills. It's 4,200 people, sir, 2,700 voters. There's absolutely no reason for that kind of spending. Okay, so if you don't like it, just head on out. But if you can't do your job, I'm going to keep pressing, sir. I'm not going away. You don't scare me. And if Mr. Keefe, I got no beef with you. If you want to enter this case, come on in and get your face down in the mud with us common folk, okay? But I'm not a $350 an hour medical defense lawyer. I'm a guy fighting for his home. I'm a guy that used to buy his vehicles based on whether I could sleep in them or not. I'm not going to back up or back down. I don't really care. I'd rather get along with you. I don't have a beef with you. I actually admire you. Maybe we'll never be friends because of my legal research and some of the things that David Rand's led me to. I'm not a genius, but following his cases around, makes me look like I'm Superman. But it's just that simple, just tracking Dave's cases, and it takes me all kinds of places. I'm telling the village of Caseyville, instruct your village attorney to knock it off. Tell him he needs to turn over the October, November itemized legal invoices to the village of Caseyville, unredacted to me. I want those. Okay? Again, I wish I could tell you, Mr. Scott Jr., that I could just let this go. And unfortunately, it's really, I don't know if you've done it or through him, or he's just taken some things on himself. I don't know if you gave him permission to bring up that private lawsuit in the December 20th meeting. I don't know. I would think he would have got your permission, but who knows with Doug Stewart. And if you want, this is just one of several altered documents that's been turned in your exhibits in your lawsuit. So I hope you're prepared to explain them all when you get up on deposition or the questions come up. Because right now nobody's questioned you. Okay. Like I said, there's going to be a countersuit. It's in the works right now. I'm working on it, and I've got some friends helping me. And we'll get that file here shortly. We're going to subpoena you and bring you in on the motion to substitute Mr. Keefe, unfortunately. I'm going to fight it all the way. I'm never going to give up. It's my home. I don't have much, but that's what I got. Myself and my roommate girlfriend, we worked very hard for this, and it's what we have. And if you think you can take it from me, or Mr. Keefe, I just want to let you know or Doug Stewart, that's the one that's pushing all this, I guess. You're in for the fight of your life. Don't ever think it's going to be easy, because I'm not going to just give up. Okay? I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I do have friends like John Kraft at Edgar County and some others, and thank God for them, because I do right by them. And as long as I do right by them, those people, they will support me. But when I start, as Doug thinks I'm conspiring with Matt Madrowski and other people, whatever, idiot. And that's why I call Doug the village idiot, and I'm not apologizing at all. So anyway, I'm going to keep doing my research. I'm going to keep digging. And if you can't come to Jesus, and this board can't, instruct Doug Stewart that they're the boss and he's not, well, you get what's coming, okay? And I'm not backing up, and I'm not backing down. And every one of you guys down there in the village of Caseyville, you know me. So let's just leave it there. No threats. But all I know is I'm a digger, and I'm a digger. And I'm the one guy in St. Clair County, the one afraid to take Bob Romanek on heads up, okay? Never forget that. Okay? Just keep that in mind. I'm not a tough guy, but I ain't backing up or backing down. My home's on the line. It's not funny. It's not a dance, Doug. So anyway, I hope the board will listen to me. I hope they'll take this to heart.